I'm Greg Jarbo. We're here at SES Chicago 2013. I'm with Stephanie Miller of the DMA. Stephanie, you had a provocative title of your session today.
Yes, it was Portrait of a Modern Marketer, How to Balance Your Inner Data Geek with a Marketing Hipster.
Okay, so how the heck do you do that?
Well, the premise is quite simple, actually. The premise is that we all have to be both. We all have to be both a data geek and a marketing hipster in order to be successful with digital and modern marketing. And so the idea is that we have to get in touch with both sides. So it's a little bit of that Madman versus the Madmen. You know, people are debating which one comes first or which one's more important. And I say they're both important, and we all, inside ourselves and then inside of our own departments, have to have both.
But this sounds like you really want to build a team where you could have maybe the token nerd, helping compensate for all those liberal arts majors?
I don't know. I think maybe that's what we have today. And what I'm suggesting is that we need everyone to be more sensible about how they work with each other, right? And so even inside our own heads, we have to come in touch with the analytics side and looking at the data and understanding what that means and how that translates to understanding the customer, but then also coming up with amazing creative and coming up with good ideas that will reach and drive interaction. And so those things are not orthogonal. They must be integrated.
So can you give like a concrete example of somebody who's maybe done this successfully?
Yeah, I gave two examples in the presentation that I think are pretty compelling. And one is with Macys. So, we think about customer-centric organizations as being like Amazon and Netflix, but I think it's actually very achievable for any brand. And I think that each of us, have an opportunity to drive it for our own organizations. But what Macys does is they have a very specific program that is people, process, technology. It's about being recognized in the store when you go in, recognized online, recognized in the app. All that data goes into the coupons that you get, the personalization of the experiences that are digital, the recognition you get in the store, the way that that is tied to where you shop physically, so the location of the merchandise and all that stuff has changed. So what I see in the Macys here in Chicago is different than what I see at home in New York, but the Stephanie experience is still consistent. And so they have this people process technology approach, and it's very compelling, very sophisticated. But I think what really makes it magical is the acknowledgement that this is not a responsibility just for the marketing team, but that it's a responsibility for the entire employee group at Macys. So every employee is empowered to make decisions that are customer-centric in every interaction. And that is what makes it magical for their customers. I think that's a great example.
And you said there was a second example.
Thank you. So the second one I gave is around Nike, which is the data-driven shoe that they offer you, right? So there's the running shoes that you can buy that have a chip in them. So Nike's in the business of selling very expensive running shoes, right? And so the chip that's in the shoe actually provides the data back to Nike that tells them whether or not these shoes are being run in, right? Or if they're being sat on the couch with, right? And so the better customer for Nike is the one who runs a lot, blows out their shoes, buys shoes more often, talks about shoes, talks about the data that they're getting from the shoes, right? So the chip in the shoe is tied to an app which you're incented to download and use, and then Nike uses that data in a very participatory way with the customer, with the runner, to help them become a better runner and meet their fitness goals. And then those customers are treated differently. So customer centricity is not about treating all of your customers well, it's about treating your best customers differently, right? And that's what makes the difference in revenue.
Well, there you have it, some insights on how you can combine your inner madman with your inner math man. Or what about math women?
It's an all-purpose term for this business, yeah.
In the generic, of course. Yes. I'm Greg Jarbo. We're here at SES Chicago, and don't send me your angry email, please.